Now, just a couple of weeks ago, we got a forum thread from one of the admins, obviously working on Skyblock, regarding the foraging update. The elaboration on the foraging update provided quite a lot of clarity, and it also talked about the hunting skill, which has further been talked about as well. However, it seemed to fail to mention probably one of the main aspects of what we thought we were getting when we were initially given information on the foraging update. And while that forum post provided us with, well, something that looked better than a tree capitator, the confirmation that there would be a similar system to mining with the heart of the mountain and the upgradable tree, the new sweep mechanic, the fact that different trees will have to be actually foraged in different ways, the fact that certain trees would actually benefit from you foraging with other people rather than alone. There's so much really cool information. But it fails to mention something pretty key, something that a lot of players were worried about. Something that when we initially heard light of the foraging update, kind of made it seem as though they would only really release this update if they were going to make this change. You see, when we first officially heard light of this foraging update, there was a big discussion. The admins basically posed that they would update the version of maybe Skyblock or just the foraging island to an updated version of Minecraft 1.19 plus. However, in the latest bit of news that we have about the foraging update, there's no mention of it at all. It's almost as if it's just been completely forgotten about. Let me explain. But before we go any further, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS. It gets yourself 5% off. You should subscribe to the channel. If you watch the videos and you haven't subscribed, please make sure to do so. You should join the Discord server. It's linked in the description of this video. We offer slayers and dungeon carries, so if you need carries or want to carry and make some coins, make sure to join. So one of the main reasons that they wanted to actually update the foraging update, or maybe Skyblock as a whole, into a new version of Minecraft, is because they simply can't innovate. They need the new features of the new version of Minecraft to basically implement features that they actually want to implement. Meaning that sure, they could make a foraging update, but it just wouldn't be as good as they want it to be. However, Hypixel as a whole, and Skyblock in particular, is completely and utterly optimized to 1.8.9. It was initially proposed that basically if you wanted to go to the foraging island, you would have to change versions of Minecraft, as the foraging island would only be accessible in a later version of Minecraft. And the idea of basically changing the whole of Hypixel Skyblock over to a new version of Minecraft was also proposed. There was, of course, major problems with that. One of them being if they were to do that, the balancing of everything would be completely and utterly thrown off, unless they found a way to implement 1.8.9 combat into a later version of Minecraft, which I assume they probably could. But it wasn't all problems. There was a lot of optimism. Changing to a new version of Minecraft would actually make it so there would be potential for EU servers for Hypixel. Not just EU servers, but servers across the world. Running on the current version of Minecraft, if they were to implement other servers around the world, that would mean that basically your progress would be separate to the main server, which is of course a US server. Might be Canada? North America, let's say. But with 1.19, that isn't the case. Players from all around the world will be able to experience a much better experience when on Hypixel. But we now know less. We know less than we previously did, even though we didn't know a lot about this update. There is no mention at all of the possibility of 1.19, a new version of Minecraft, or what would happen on that front with the foraging update. Even though, in the latest thread we have, there's news that we're actually relatively close to a foraging update being tested on the alpha. Which is honestly a little bit confusing, because it almost seemed like the upgrade to 1.19 or a new version of Minecraft would kind of decide the fate of this update as to whether it was going to happen or not. The fact that nothing is mentioned in basically the latest information dumped from the admins is a little bit strange, which leads me to believe that they've scrapped the whole idea. Otherwise, you would think that it would be mentioned pretty clearly. Given that we're really not that far away from the update. Now, a couple of months ago, Duralius made a very interesting video where he basically had interviewed a former admin for Hypixel, which provided some very interesting and I guess needed information about the foraging update, and I guess what he found out kind of explains a lot. This former admin predicted that we were absolutely nowhere near the foraging update, and also that the reason why it was taking them so long is because they were working with a lot of tech debt, which is basically what results when development teams take actions to expedite the delivery of a piece of functionality or a project which later needs to be refactored. Which in other words means if they wanted to move to 1.19, they'd have to retrace the steps all the way back to the foundations of Hypixel and Skyblock itself in 1.8.9, and make sure that everything works and is compatible with a new version of Minecraft. Now, to be honest, that is a task that I would not want to do. Bearing in mind, if they wanted to update the whole server into a new version of Minecraft, then that would take so long. But there's been no mention of any of that at all, and according to the admins, we are relatively close to an alpha test period for the foraging update. I'm not saying that moving to 1.19 would be a good thing. It kind of seems like if they were able to move to 1.19 and make everything work properly, then we will probably have a better quality of updates, considering that they have said in the past that one of the factors that's prevented them of going ahead with some updates is because they simply can't do what they want to do in 1.8.9. Also, the prospect of having different servers for Hypixel over in North America would be really cool, and would definitely help a lot of players out. So, my question is, what on earth happened? Have they scrapped the whole idea? Because according to that old admin in Duralius's video, we were nowhere near the foraging update. Mere month and a half later, we have information that we're very close to the foraging update, unless they've been able to work 24/7 and somehow get over this tech debt. I don't know what's happened. Kind of seems to me like it's been scrapped. But I guess we'll find out. And if it has been scrapped, then I would think that that is probably the admission that Hypixel Skyblock, or Hypixel in general, is just going to stay in 1.8.9 Minecraft pretty much forever. They've obviously been working on this foraging update for quite some time, and we've heard that it's been confirmed that it's been essentially delayed for so long because of the difficulties that they've had. Going back quite a while now, it was confirmed that they were working on an update that required you to be able to swim. But of course, the swimming mechanic is not in 1.8.9 Minecraft. When you go into water, you just kind of walk through it. And that prevented them from implementing a new update. This was quite a while ago now, because that mechanic wasn't available. And of course, really going to 1.19 or a new version of Minecraft that would support swimming was not really viable. And it's pretty clear that the fact that they're in 1.8.9 is definitely limiting the development of the game. However, interestingly enough, recently there's been so many alphas, so many new updates, so many things that are good for the game's progression. So, yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. But I want to know what you guys think of this in the comments. It kind of seems to me that we just simply know less. Even though we know a bit more about the foraging update, we have a few screenshots of images of what some of the new areas might look like. One of the main things that was discussed about the update and the reason why it's been delayed for so long seems to have been kind of ignored. But as always, let me know what you think. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.
Running on my shirt with the tag.